Guys, it's your girl at Lockish2020 on Instagram, and I was just giving an update about my Sisterlocs. My Sisterlocs were established in February of 2020, and that was about, let's see, February 15th. That's about, what, 4 months now? And so they are doing quite well. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I make a special trip, a 4-hour drive to get my hair retied. Yes, I make that drive because a few things. So what I'm going to try to go over in this video are some things that I have learned during this crazy pandemic, and just certain things that I want to continue to grow on. So I am one of the nurses on the front lines as this pandemic has been growing and kind of leading to changes of a new normal, as we're referring to it now. I have been able to go back to my normal schedule as far as work, and I will say that my Sisterlocs really helped me to be able to transition into the change of scheduling very well. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times when you have your hair in a particular style, you need to get it maintained by a particular person, or that's how I am. If I have braids, I know I have to take them down in so many months. If I have a particular style, I know that one of my stylists has to be able to maintain that. And with this pandemic, a lot of the places were closed, and so a lot of people were struck out in how to maintain their normal routine, whether it's getting their nails done or their hair done. A lot has changed. Meanwhile, Sisterlock crew, we were good. Well, I can say I was good because my hair was being maintained by a stylist who lives 4 hours away, and I was on a 5-week schedule, and so I've been able to maintain my hair without it looking too crazy. And so I do appreciate that about the Sisterlocs during the pandemic. Survived a pandemic. Other things that have happened in the last few months haven't been as positive globally, and I do want to say that this shirt represents a lot of what I hope to be and see in the overall lifestyle changes. I would say equality is definitely overlooked in a lot of areas. I've definitely struggled with it as far as being seen as equal, whether it's in the modeling industry or in my professional level. But while I don't believe that racism will ever cease to exist, I do think that it is a responsibility of those who experience it to speak up and let it know that it's not okay. And even if you don't have a voice, don't tolerate it. Check your friends. If they're your true friends, they're not going to be joking about your suffering or your trauma. And so, like Rihanna said, tell your friends to pull up. Everybody that was invited to the cookout, this is the cookout. So, moving forward, what I can say about these crazy times is that it has brought out the entrepreneur in me, and this shirt was made by me. So, while I'm not specifically a business person, a designer, I would never put myself into an activist. I would never put myself into that category, because I do know that people who do those things dedicate a lifetime, and so much more time and dedication is put into having those particular titles than I can take credit for. So I will say I have dabbled in designing, and I'm always willing to stand up for what's right. I'm very vocal. So while I cannot say that I hold those titles, I will say that I am encouraged to push forward in all aspects. And what this pandemic has allowed me to do is just kind of open my eyes and to see what's really important, and to prioritize, and to better manage my time. I am so thankful that I was able to get my Sisterlocs. And what's crazy is that whether you feel like you aren't where you're supposed to be, you are where you need to be. And I hope that makes sense, because I'm one of those goal-oriented people, and I wouldn't call myself a perfectionist, but I definitely am goal-oriented. And if I see that I'm making headway in a certain direction, then I tend to push in that certain direction. But if I see I'm not making ground in a certain direction, I tend to change course. And sometimes you do have to stop and just pause before you change course. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of things going on right now that are out of our control, and we are being forced to pause and look at what is going on. So I would encourage everyone who's feeling insecure and just feels like a lot of what's going on is out of your control, you are not alone. But before you change course, just pause, look at what's going on, assess what's going on, and decide whether you really need to change course or continue on that path. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm rambling because a lot of times when I get on here, I don't have a speech prepared. Probably I should do that. But I do like to just keep it real and just let you know what's going on in my mind right now. So as far as my Sisterlocs, I am still happy with them. I'm very, very satisfied with the growth. You know I am particular about that grid. So I think my grid is intact. Still, this is my go-to style. I kind of like to separate my hair. Give you a full look. I'll take it all the way down. I'm not really focused on length. I'm very much into healthy hair, and I will say that my hair is very healthy. I washed it last week. I wash it every 2 weeks. The Sisterlocs have allowed me to do so, and I feel like it's very, very easy to maintain. It dries easily. As you can see, I have gray, but I've accepted that. I do want to color it. I asked my beautician how soon can I color it. My loctician, I asked her how soon can I color it, and she let me know that it will not be until my locks mature. So if that's if some people have heard a different story as to whether they can color their hair or whether they can get it done professionally, feel free to leave me a comment in the box. But I'm doing what my loctician says, and so I'm not gonna color my hair until my locks have matured. Let's see. Other things I've seen, actually I've been stopped by several people who want to have their Sisterlocs done, and unfortunately I have to tell them that my loctician is 4 hours away from here. So I don't know what decision they made, but I do think that for me, I was ready financially, and time-wise, I was ready, so I will continue to make that 4-hour drive as long as I'm capable, because I'm about these Sisterlocs being well-maintained, and I'm not going to play around with these. So, let's see. I think that was pretty much a mixed salad right there. I should probably come with a better, what do they call it, itinerary, but I just have some things that I wanted to touch base with you all about, and so I think I've done that. My hair doesn't really grow all that fast, and so with it being February, 4 months since I got my Sisterlocs, I'll probably be making updates regarding my growth in my Sisterlocs erratically, sporadically. I don't know just yet. I'm still trying to learn how to do this whole YouTube thing, so anyway, for now, I think I've pretty much touched base on everything that I wanted to touch base on. Oh, one other thing I did want to say. I have seen that some people, like I've started really getting into the natural hair care, and especially Sisterlocs forums, where I see some people are indecisive about whether they should get them or whether they should wait, or does it matter if the person puts microlocks or interlocking. Do your research. Do your research on what it's going to cost, what is it that you want, and whether you can maintain it. I know that I am not going to be able to maintain my Sisterlocs as far as doing my own interlocking for who knows when, if ever. So do know that it's a financial investment. I've just heard too many horror stories with Sisterlocs to even take the chances on skipping out on my loctician who is able to maintain my hair. So do the research. It's worth the time. Don't get sloppy. Don't get lazy with that because you will regret it in the end. There have been too many horror stories. Go to YouTube. And I'm not saying that they didn't do anything right. I'm sure that you can do everything right and somebody will still mess it up. But if you do your due diligence, you're less likely to have a nightmare story. So I encourage everybody to do their research. I'll continue to post my own creative creations on @Lockish2020 on Instagram, and you can follow me there. Until next time, peace and equality.